Hey everyone, thanks again for joining on Sealed for Good. Hope you've remembered to subscribe. If you haven't, please do so. Today's episode, I'm going to talk about how to prevent drummy tiles. So drummy tiles is a phenomenon that happens often in the construction industry. We used to see it a long time ago, but I'm going to remind you of these numbers. AS 3958.1, it's the tiling standard every tiler should be familiar with, and my suggestion is even waterproofers should be familiar with this standard to know how tiling should happen over the membrane systems. So let's start from basics. Make sure that the tile selected, and whether you're the builder or you're the tiler, or even if you're the waterproofer and it's quite inquisitive, ask a question, is that tile suitable for the application? Now if you've got a tile that's designed to be outside 24/7, then make sure it's a tile that's designed to be outdoors or doesn't need to be sealed over. But you've got to make sure that you can't just have a great tile adhesive system, a great grouting system, and then have a tile that's not suitable for that application, because it will, over time, start to move and disrupt, and you'll have a drummy phenomenon that happens. And when you're knocking on that tile and you get that hollow sound, it's something that everyone hates. Now, from an application point of view, make sure tiles are fully notched, the adhesive is fully notched on the surface, and depending on the type of tile, on the rear, do you need to backbutter the tile, or do you need to spread some adhesive on the rear of the tile before bedding it in? Now, the larger the tile, the more chance there is that you need to apply adhesive on the rear of the tile backing and on the surface itself. There's a lot of good applications out there that you can see, and the right tilers know what to do, but don't just run the risk. Now, when you're doing this on a membrane, you have to remember that if you've got a void under that tile, between the tile and the membrane substrate, that's a void where moisture can build up, and often we've seen, particularly in shower alcoves and floor areas, where that actually then creates a pressure point, and you get moisture build up and you get almost like steam happening, and the tiles will pop over time because it's an empty spot. When it's fully bedded in, the tile onto that substrate, you don't have a void for the adhesion to be compromised, and that's really important. And this is basic stuff. Many of the tilers will be saying, we know this, but unfortunately we still see failures over membranes where there's still spot fixed tiles, which is incredible because I used to see that in the 90s, and we see these voids happening. Now, adhesive selection, okay? There's not one adhesive that suits all applications, so ensure that you're using the right adhesive for the right application and the right tile, okay? Really important, because if you've got a situation where you're using just a general purpose adhesive for internal areas and you can try and use it on an external floor, it's more than likely you're going to have issues, and that's where you start to see tiles popping and that drummy hollow sound, which is a sign of the popping phenomenon that's going to happen later. Things like control joints, the movement joints that you've incorporated into your tile bed, really important to ensure that you don't get that tile movement that actually allows the tiles to pop. Okay, tiles will move, and that's why movement joints and control joints are incorporated into the tile bed, because they allow that movement to happen without any compromise of the adhesion of the tile to that bed. And when it's on a membrane, that's more important, because if you actually have tiles removed from a membrane surface, then you're going to have to damage the membrane to remove the adhesive bed, and you've got to start all over again, and you end up removing the whole floor or wall situation, which you don't want to do. This is really basic information, but as I said, the best tilers out there know this. Waterproofers know how it should be applied onto your membrane, and the builders out there watching, ensure that you've got the right selection of tiles and the right tiler that's doing the job on that membrane application. If you'd like any more details on this, 1-800-650-435, our team is there to help you ensure that your tile application doesn't end up with a drummy bed. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time on Sealed for Good.